Pickaxe.
Hello and welcome to Darmok and Jalad podcast, Series 2, Episode 13, Time Squared. Ben.
It's a mystery, P-Flags. It's a time-traveling mystery
It's
episode.
a proper mystery episode, and I'm sure, knowing the writers of Star Trek The Next Generation, Series 1 and 2, as I do, this will all be tied up in a fascinating package, for your edification. Well, let's see if that's true, anyway.
So, yeah. It's, does it start again?
It starts off with Riker whisking up some eggs, okay?
Riker's cooking some fucking disgusting-looking eggs, which are apparently his speciality.
He's like, these are Morgon eggs or something. But he's like, I hate it when people in TV shows have a specialty. It's like, this is my special way of cooking eggs. His way of cooking eggs is to put them on a red-hot skillet and burn the hell out of his eggs.
Also, they're saying it's going to be an omelette, and then it's clearly just the shittest scrambled eggs you've ever
Yes,
seen.
there's no omelette here. Like, this is not cooking. So first of all, obviously they have the replicator, so you could just say omelette, hot, cheesy.
Of course.
Bosh, there's your omelette.
Or, eggs.
Eggs. Just give me
If you wanted
eggs.
to make them yourself, you don't have to import them from Starbase 17 or wherever he
Indeed.
said he got them from.
I also like... Oh, well, you say that, but can it make an egg?
Of course.
Could you
It must be
say
able
egg
to.
fertilized?
Ooh, can replicator create life?
Yeah, essentially. Just a
I
question.
think if the holodeck can, the replicator can. They're basically the same kind of technology.
What if Riker was like, this is my specialty. Replicator, give me 3 baby chicks. And then you just bash their heads in on the counter. So he's cooking these eggs on this huge skillet, which I hate the way he's done that. It's obviously too hot. The egg instantly turns white, which means you've dried it out, and it's going to be like just dried out sponge.
He's got some kind of weird-looking space whisk.
Space whisk, of course. But I do like the fact that they still have basic cooking skills in the 20-whatever century.
Yeah. Although everyone else is treating it like a novelty. They're like, oh, you're cooking it yourself. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It feels like half the people at the table have never tried to cook before. Because
Never.
Why would they?
Yeah, why would they? I mean, and also, I'll be honest with you, dinner guests, Geordie, Data, Worf, Pulaski. Honestly, I'm on board with that 4. Like, that would be like good crack.
That'd be a good dinner party, I
Yeah.
think, honestly. It's good mixed people.
If Geordie gets a few drinks and he starts to say some stuff about women, you have to move on and sort of wrap up the evening. Data, obviously, he's kind of the joke guest who everyone has a bit of fun with. Worf is Worf, and Pulaski just, she's a drinker. She's a laugh. I reckon she's got some stories.
I bet it can get a bit rowdy, though. I reckon once Wolf's had a few in him, he starts, singing bawdy Klingon, songs.
Of course.
He starts getting all leery and is, swaying from side to side and demanding everyone chant along with him.
Cries about his pet, what is it, a Targ? Is that
Targ.
Cries about his pet dog. I miss Snuffles so badly, Commander. I also think if you look at this party, I think if Riker's having a dinner party, he's like, don't invite any women. And it's like, well, Pulaski's there, but come on. This is the lads. This is Geordie, Data, Worf, Riker. This is the lads. Pulaski's an honorary lad in this because no one fancies her, so she becomes a lad.
She brings the booze.
She's the drinker. She brings the booze. Exactly. I do think one thing that he says is that I thought in human culture the woman cooked. So that's interesting because for him to think that means that the only way the Federation, either he's way out or the Federation has achieved this total control of humanity through the subjugation of women, because he still thinks that, and that probably would have ended before they even met the Klingons. So why does he think that human culture is about women in the kitchen?
He was raised by human foster parents, right?
What, were they just MAGA?
Maybe they're real traditional. Maybe they're he had trad mum.
Trad mum. A woman's place is the kitchen, Wolf. Yes,
She
mother.
raised him to believe that. Don't get out of my kitchen, Wolf. It's women only in here. Stop trying to help.
Oh dear.
No, we're not making gach.
Gah, it's best served live. I think
That is interesting. In Gene Roddenberry's utopian future, there's still the perception that women do all the cooking.
Yeah. And given that there's a replicator, presumably no one does any cooking, let alone just the women. So it's a weird
cooking
line.
must just be for those who just enjoy it, right? It's more of like a hobby or an art form,
Right?
You know, like you want to go to that extra effort. It's like doing microbrewery or something like that.
Exactly. Or in Riker's case, not being able to cook is his whole thing.
Yeah, because actually Geordie is like, oh my god, this is inedible.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him. It looks inedible. But Worf is just shoveling it down. He starts off really timid and he's like nibbling at it going, what the hell is this? And then he's just wolfing it.
Yeah, he's wolfing it down. You know, obviously we're recording this the morning after England got knocked out by Argentina in the World Cup. And when they scored a header, it was in the back of my mind that we were recording this podcast today. And I reminded of a clip that I've seen on YouTube of Worf talking about football. Where he talks about,
played it as a kid, didn't he?
And he killed another kid. He's like, I went up for a header and unfortunately killed one of the players on the other team. He like heads the ball so hard he kills a kid.
Jesus.
I was like, damn, Worf. Like, I feel like the Worf we get on TNG before they dive in too deep on like DS9 and stuff like that is a lot more of just a bit of a lump. But we don't really know much about him. He likes these bad eggs because he's a Klingon, so that's how he rolls. Data obviously has no opinion on the eggs whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So are we saying that it was...
he's got all these... Sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say, do we think it's the eggs or the way he cooked them or a combination
Riker blames the eggs because they're weird space eggs. Which, fair, you know, they might take... Maybe his weird method of throwing them on a fucking scalding hot pan for 5 seconds works better with other eggs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
There's not even any butter. He's not even scrambling his eggs with any butter or anything. He just chucks them on the hot thing.
He does have all these other ingredients on the table. There's a bowl of shredded cheese. There's like some butter. There's some red stuff that might be like, I don't know, tomatoes or something. But like, he gets all this stuff out, doesn't use any of it.
And then just serves up these shit eggs. So we have this. Go on.
I don't know. Maybe he had plans. Maybe there was going to be like a 5-course egg day. And he was going to be, right, now the omelette. Let's get the cheese in there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I do think
it gets called away to the bridge for an emergency.
But this is what I like about the setup is you have this intimate moment with the crew. We get to see them with their guard down. Then you have the setup, and then you have a shot of a spaceship, and then that's the credits. Like that is to me the standard as we go forward in Star Trek is they're playing poker, they're in 10 forward, they're playing whatever wiffle ball that they're doing. Something that shows you them as people. That. Yeah, and then it's like
you need to like characterize these people more, and it's hard to do that when they're just reporting on tachyon pulses and shit.
Of course, but it's also a nice way to set this is important in people's minds because you've essentially been called in to work. You were chilling. It was omelette hour.
You were off the shift.
Yes.
Like you'd done your shift and you have an egg time.
Yeah.
And now, you know, shit's got real. Get rid of Ensign No Name. We need the A-team on the bridge.
Absolutely. So we have the credits, and there's something that's popped up in the credits repeatedly in this series that I want your opinion on. I realize, for anyone listening, we're at 8 minutes in the podcast, more or less, and all we've done is talk about Riker and eggs, but that is how we roll. All right, we hyper focus on one or two.
I don't know why it was the most interesting part of the episode, but they were. I was just shocked at how bad those eggs looked.
I know. Like I as soon as I was watching, I was like, we're going to talk about this for 10 minutes. I guarantee. So in the credits it says special appearance by Diana Muldaur, and then it says special guest Colm Meaney. So like they're lucky to get them. Like, we got Colm Meaney. You didn't even give him a line in the first series. And Diana Muldaur's only here because you fired Gates McFadden. Like, this is not by special appearance. Like, what is this?
It is odd. I guess because they're not main cast, right? So they're in it enough to get the credit, but they're not in it enough to be like standard billing. So you always do that at the end when you've got someone who's like important enough to get a credit, but not in the main cast. They always say, and introducing, or joined by, or featuring, as like a little addendum. And sometimes it's because they're a big deal, and really they should get top billing, but you can't give them top billing because they're not the star of the show. But so instead you say, you know, featuring.
Right.
As like, we got we got this guy, it's a big deal. I don't know. I bet there's a lot of politics involved in contracts and agents to be like how people are represented, and there's probably a much deeper meaning to it all that we're not aware of because we're not in the biz.
Yeah, could be.
I just think they're not main cast.
That's fair. I think that's valid. It just always makes me think, it's going to be a big thing. Colm Meaney has like one line in this. So if
he just get
your special guest, he does, but that's it. Your special guest barely gets to speak. Surely, I mean, I just think it's weird. There's obviously some union thing, or it's like some rule about credits.
I bet you get paid more, like if you get featured a certain amount, or you get paid a certain amount, you have your name in the credits, or I don't know. I bet it's something to do with pay and visibility.
It must be anyway. So we've got a shuttle here that they've tracked to beamed in, and they have a look at it, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's one of ours." And they do he even reads the registration on the side. He's like, USS Enterprise 1701D. I was like, you couldn't have seen that when you were tracked to beaming in. The computer doesn't say this is one of ours. Like, you've got to read the registration plate. Like, this is someone that's parked badly or has bumped you at the traffic lights and trying to drive off. Like, why is he reading it like a child? It's just so weird.
I was almost expecting Worf to be like, 2 shuttles, 1 shuttle bay.
And just go mad.
Lose his mind at seeing 2 shuttles. 1 ship, 1 shuttle. No!
But so Worf is angry, and there's this dusty version of Picard lies within. But then they say something about him being out of phase. And they all seem to understand what this means. Oh, he's out of phase? Gotcha. And I'm like, what does that mean, out of phase?
Yeah, I don't know, because they say it a lot in different Star Treks.
Yeah, that's true.
It always means slightly different. It's just kind of this vague term to say, like, something weird's going on.
It means he's fucked up. He's all fucked up, is what it essentially is, yeah. Out of phase.
And then Riker can't tell Picard what's going on. He's like, you've got to come see this.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
You cannot wait for you to see this. I want to see your reaction.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like he could have absolutely understood that there was something that looked exactly like him on this shuttle. But,
right.
No, we need the dramatic reveal. And this Picard, like, who's all dusty on the ruined shuttlecraft, he looks like not well. He looks real gaunt, real grey, real like bruised. He's in bad shape and he's unconscious. And the shuttlecraft is completely unpowered. They can't turn it on. It's drained. Did it strike you like this is like the older version of the shuttlecraft? Like I don't know when they changed them. At some point soon, we're going to get like the more modern shuttle that they'll use to the end of Star Trek, and it looks way jazzier. But this old one, I'd forgotten it existed, and it is tiny. It's like smaller than like a small car. It's like a little like Mini Cooper kind of like shuttlecraft. Like, barely fit 2 people in it.
I feel like we haven't. Have we seen much shuttlecraft to date?
Only a little bit. We've had like the kid who stole a shuttle in season 1 and nearly bounced off a planet.
Well, I feel like it changes, and then there's a point where it's like, this is what shuttles look like, and from that point, it's like, oh, it's always the same. But up to this point, it does feel like they're kind of, what is inside this thing? Like, they're not quite there yet. Do you know what I mean? That's how it feels,
at this
anyway.
point, the shuttle can't even go to warp, they say later on.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure changes. I'm sure we've got, like, shuttles going to warp later on. Must be like an early prototype shuttle.
Yeah, must be. Either way, I don't know. I feel like this is such a diddy shuttle. You know what reminded me of the episode that we're going to get later where there's the time traveler thing? I don't want to spoil. I don't want to give any spoilers for people who haven't seen the episode. It's a really fun episode. His shuttle is kind of a bit odd like that, I feel like. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone who knows that this is a Type 3 shuttle, and then later it's a Type 7.
Of course.
But I don't know enough. But it's kind of fun. We get to see it get tractor beamed in. We never see... Normally, they just go down to the shuttle bay and whatever they've tracked in is already there. But this time, we get the whole sequence. We get the docking bay open, the force field, the beam. It brings it in. The thing is spinning around like drifting in space. It's kind of fun.
It is. I love it.
So they have to start finding out what's going on. So Data starts trying to beep boop the shuttle, but it's completely powered down. So we get a few minutes of Data and Geordi fucking around with the shuttle. They can't quite figure out. Like, plugging it in doesn't work. It doesn't accept the Enterprise's energy.
But this does feel like they're actually trying to solve it. Like, this does feel like you got a couple of engineers on it, and they're like, all right, let's have a look at it. There is some lovely, I saw this in an email we had this week, Treknobabble. Instead of Technobabble, it's Treknobabble. Variable phase inverter. Right? Which just means that we can flip the phase on this thing, whatever that is. He's out of phase.
It's like a power transformer. You turn it from AC to DC.
I do like that. That is some good Treknobabble. Also, there's like a smudge on the outside of the ship, and Picard says that looks like an antimatter explosion. I was like, damn, like, is he like a forensic scientist or something? Because to me, that looks like just dirt. But
how many warp core breaches have you witnessed, Picard?
That's true. Yeah, it was just kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was odd because it really did just look like a bit of soot. Or
It was just
and it was
dirt.
barely scraped.
100% that's just dirt. Yeah. But hey, he's the El Capitan. If he says it's an antimatter, I believe him.
I believe him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does Riker.
So they decide to wake up Picard.
Yeah, they take him to sickbay, and honestly, it's a similar problem to what Data and Geordi are having with the shuttle. This Picard is like unconscious; they can't figure out why. They give him a stimulant, and it just like flatlines him immediately instead of waking him up. And the doctor's like, "Oh shit, I better give him a sedative, I guess, and balance it out." Uppers and downers. Picard doesn't know what's going on. They can't wake him up.
I will say this: this whole thing, I think. Have you seen the film Tenet? Christopher Nolan film Tenet. So the idea of time travel in that is that you go through this, what do they refer to it as? I can't remember what they call it. Turnstile, I think they call it. And you go in that, and when you're in it, you are, in Star Trek terms, out of phase with time. And now you're moving backwards through time, but literally moving backwards. So you're actually, everything is reversed. Yeah, so if someone watched you running, it would look like you were running backwards in our phase. But if we went through the turnstile, we're on the other side. We're now traveling backwards, so you're inverted. So, for example, fire doesn't burn you, it freezes you in the inverted world, because it's obviously the heat is leaving. Because if the fire's going backwards, it's sucking the heat out of the atmosphere, so it makes you very cold. If you get hit with an inverted bullet, somehow that's very dangerous. Tenet is a bizarre film. It's kind of nonsense,
that sounds like
really.
An absolute can of worms that's going to have no internal logical consistency.
It's a very hard movie.
Because you're inverting some things, and then I bet they don't invert everything.
It's weird. I don't.
Does breathing air make you suffocate?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, you have to wear a special mask.
Wow. Okay. And so Earth's gravity pushes you into the sky?
No, that's fine.
Right, because that would be hard to film.
Right. I also think it's
Does light make you blind and darkness you can see through? Like,
no,
where are we drawing the line
because
here?
those things are consistent, but essentially any motion or an interaction that you have with the environment is reversed. So,
right, okay. So when you have high G movement would make you feel fine, and very slow movement would make you feel nauseous.
Something like that. I don't know. They don't cover it. They don't go into that much detail. But I do recommend watching it.
I'm just pointing out all the things that could be inverted.
No, absolutely.
And I bet they don't.
No, of course not. Like it's just an idea that you can go into inverted space and all the rest of that. But
which we play with a bit here, don't we? Because they figure out that the shuttle needed reverse power.
Yes, so it's very similar. I reckon some writer, whoever wrote Tenet, watched this and was like, "That's quite an interesting idea, actually. The idea that everything's backwards," and extrapolated from that. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, it could be. Although maybe they just thought, Reverso World. That's fun.
Yeah. We should do like Reverso World. Oh, yeah. Good idea, boss. You're right. It could just be that.
Oh. But they never really latch onto it. They don't, they just kind of figure out that, reverse negative power is what the shuttle needs. We can boot it up and read the logs. They don't realize that, well, maybe if we give Sleepy Picard a bunch of sedatives, he'll wake up. Because they don't really communicate. The doctor and the engineers don't share their information. It's just kind of left as a loose thread. Anyway, they read the logs, and they find out that Picard left the Enterprise, and then the Enterprise exploded, and he's the only survivor.
Right.
And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And this only happened like 3 hours ago. So, they play back the log.
Mm-hmm.
They find out the Enterprise was destroyed, and Picard escaped. The only survivor, and it's going to happen in just a few hours' time.
Dun dun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. I like the setup. I like the sort of mystery about what's going on, and then the reveal of like what happened. It's starting to feel like regular Star Trek.
It is. It also, I feel like this episode was then improved and repurposed later for the one where they're in a time loop.
Yeah, the one where Kelsey Grammer blows them up.
Yes, accidentally, of course.
And they do like a Groundhog Day. The Enterprise gets blown up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Oh, how's a better ship
version.
like that? It's a better version of this, because this version is there's Picard in our phase, and there's the other Picard, inverted Picard, who just looks confused for like a full 45-minute episode until the very end. I do like the fact that having seen all this, Picard just stays completely calm, And even though this is a wild situation, he's very worried that he's going to be as gutless and cowardly as the England team were against Argentina last night, Ben.
No.
But instead, he's just sort of rallies his officers, good clear orders.
Yeah. It's great acting as well, because although he stays calm and collected and problem solving, you can tell he's rattled.
Yes.
You know, like he's acting very professionally, but I immediately know he's upset about this. He's worried, obviously, that the Enterprise is going to die. He's also worried that he's going to somehow become an absolute coward and abandon everyone.
Yes, like,
and
why
he
would
can't
I
imagine
do
a scenario that would make him do that. Yeah, and it's clearly upset him.
And doesn't Worf say to him, "There's no fucking way you do this the way you think. Like, you would never do that." And I do respect that from Worf. Is like, "Captain, this is bullshit. Something must happen, because there's no way that Worf wouldn't follow you into battle if every time there's trouble you look around and Picard's legging it towards a shuttlecraft."
Yeah, he's got like an escape pod in his ready room, primed to go at any moment.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good. This is a great example of character-driven actions, which we haven't had much of so far.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been a big complaint of mine in all these previous episodes that it's all plot-driven and the characters are just kind of just there.
They just
this
move
is now
the
a dilemma.
plot along. Like,
exactly. They just discover a thing and they say something and then they scan something. Whereas now this is all about what, the character's actions. What are they going to do? Why are they going to do it? And it's about them. And it's the opposite of all these like passive episodes. It's very proactive to the point where they're second guessing. Like, why would I do this? What's going to happen that's going to make us make these series of terrible decisions?
Yeah.
And how do we avoid it?
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. I like it a lot.
There's also something else you'll like in this episode, I'm sure. It'll come up. I'll mention it when it happens.
Oh, okay.
But so Pulaski then gives some big summary. Like, I can't even remember exactly what she said, but she basically goes, looks at him, and just completely diagnoses the entire situation. And Deanna does too, with no information. Like, how'd they do that?
I disliked that. Like, just as I was thinking, I was literally writing the notes of, like, I'm enjoying this character-driven dilemma that Picard has, and it's very well acted. And then immediately I sort of knock it down points because Troy and Pulaski just spell it out for the viewers in case you missed it.
Well,
like, oh, Picard's upset, actually.
I feel like they always do this because I think this is definitely true of a lot of American TV. Certainly in this era, I think it's so much better now. If you look at the shows that are coming out of the States, like I've watched loads of shows. Apple TV, for example, there's so many shows in there that we don't need to spell it out for the audience.
Yeah, it's much
People
more satisfying.
can figure things out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
And we're not just like dumbing it down for the lowest common denominator.
But in this
I'm sure plenty
era,
of that exists.
Of course. But in this era, this is obviously a mainstream show. They really did think, oh, you better explain it for the audience a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I think if you're so stupid you can't follow the plot of this episode of Star Trek, is this show even for you? Are you even watching this? You're probably just watching tractor pulls or something. You're not going to be watching Star Trek if you can't figure this out.
This is from an era where they're trying to just hit as wide an audience as possible, right? Like, there are only, I don't know how many networks there are in America at this point, but not many. I don't know, 5, 8, something like that.
I have no idea.
Like, there aren't that many channels to pick from.
There were 13 when I was growing up in the 80s. We had 13 channels. And then you had cable. And cable by now is out there, but it costs a lot of money, so a lot of people don't have it. So, but this was just on regular TV, I'm pretty sure.
Well, exactly. So that's what I'm sort of trying to say. Like, they know that anyone might watch this because there are only so many channels, and they want to keep them there.
Right, but the people who can't follow this aren't watching it, is my point. You could explain this with you could get Sesame Street characters on to explain the plot. It doesn't matter. Those people are not watching this show anyway.
No.
Like, it's this attempt to appeal to and dumb down to an audience that does not exist and would never exist to watch your show is where all these shows went wrong. Yeah, but kids are just watching. My kids watched The Simpsons for years, Ben. I'm sure you've got this. They didn't laugh once, and they were like, "We love The Simpsons." I was like, "You don't get it. You haven't got a single joke. Why are you laughing? Why are you even enjoying it?" They just like it.
Kids will watch anything.
They'll watch it. They don't give a shit. Also, they haven't got any money. You don't need to appeal to them. They don't get to say, "We're watching Star Trek." No. That's mum and dad go, "We're watching Star Trek." No talking.
True. It's true.
So then Pulaski says, she says, if Picard fucks up, I'm going to take this ship, is what she essentially says. And because she's like, I've got the authority. I was like, I don't think Pulaski is my first shout. It would be Riker, surely.
Yeah, she can relieve him, but the next in charge is Riker, right?
You don't get to fly the ship.
Yeah. I'll relieve as many officers as I have to until I can fly the ship.
I've got the documents right here. I've already written all of your names at the top. All I have to do is sign each of these, and I'm in charge. Pulaski holding the crew hostage.
But we do, actually, Councillor Troy, pretty useful for once. She has some insight. She can confirm that this is the real Picard. And
This is
even
him.
though he can't speak, she can say, like, you know, this is what he's feeling. This is what he's thinking. This is the problem we've got.
Yeah.
And it's actually super helpful having her here.
Thank
And
God.
it's nice for her to actually have something to do for once.
Thank God. But there's then this conversation where Picard and Riker are chewing the fat over this problem. They're having a chat. And they're talking about warp speed equals time travel. Right? That's what they're talking about, which is bollocks.
Well, it happens in Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
They
That's
slingshot
true.
themselves around the sun and go past warp 10 and go back in time.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were referencing.
No, 100%. But it's bollocks. We know it's bollocks.
Yeah.
Like, going very, very fast is not going to make you go back in time, is it?
Well, time is relative to speed.
In one
right?
direction.
Like, we know that. Like, time, your perception of time and time's effect on you slows as you approach
Absolutely.
light speed.
So if they did this maneuver, they wouldn't go backwards. They would, in fact, go hundreds of years into the future. They would not be going... And also, we've done away with relativity for the sake of this television show being functional.
Yeah, I mean, warp drive can't exist with relativity, so
Right.
clearly a warp field breaks.
We're ignoring all of that. So to just say, if you
I'm
go
happy
past
to say, though,
warp 10.5,
some bollocks to do with warp speed can fuck with time, since we know that speed does fuck with time.
it does,
warp
but
speed,
not backwards. I don't think you can go backwards by going into...
Not with, like, regular time, but you also can't go faster than light, which is warp 1.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's true.
You know, clearly warp field breaks the rules, and why not break this rule too?
But so why have it... What if they need to go forward in time, Ben?
Just wait.
Just wait. Yeah, just wait. That's it.
We're already travelling forward in time.
That's true, Ben. If we were running very fast, we'd go backwards in time. I think the thing is, it's warp 10.5 in reverse, and they go backwards.
Oh, yeah, do it backwards. Turn around. And then go and warp 10.
Run it backwards. Like if your mileage is too high on your car, you just put it in reverse.
That's
drive
true.
it backwards. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
We
But
then
Riker
have...
just goes, nah, I don't reckon that's it,
Yeah,
actually.
that's rubbish.
And then they move on.
But then there's also a reference to the Traveller. Picard drops in. He
Yeah.
just goes, well, that's what the Traveller did. And I was like, the Traveller? That was like episode 3.
Yeah, that was like 40 episodes ago.
They don't do this often where they drop it in. And also, no one's mentioned the Traveller since then. So who is this reference for? Nerds like
And
us,
they also-
Ben.
Yeah. And they mentioned that one where Data has the infinite kaleidoscope of datas.
Right.
That guy. They mentioned Mannheim, that's one.
That's right. They do. I like the callbacks in there for the hardcore fans, but most people, it's just babble to them. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Traveller, never heard of it. Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's good though. It doesn't. They don't often reference themselves. I like it. It's a fun little Easter egg.
Yeah. There is then a nice line from Riker. I can't remember what it was referenced to. They're worried they're walking towards their failure is what really scares them. But then Riker references a Persian flaw.
Yeah, I had to Google that.
I
I've
looked
never
it
heard
up
of
as
it
well.
before.
I hadn't heard it, but so it's an idiom that means a deliberate mistake. It's said to originate from the notion that Persian weavers would intentionally leave imperfections in each rug in the belief that only God's creations are perfect, and to weave a perfect rug would be an insult to God. Which does kind of mean that you have to not be perfect because only God can make it perfect. Well, then what you're saying is you can make a perfect rug. And I don't think God would be like, how dare you make a really nice rug? I insist you put a couple of stitches wrong. Otherwise, I'm insulted. No.
Yeah.
It's
Kind
I
of
just
wild,
think it's
but
silly.
I can see that as a tradition. Like one guy does it once, and then it becomes kind of trendy, and then before you know it, you're teaching your apprentices that that's the way it's done, and it just kind of sticks.
Yeah.
But it's a weird. It doesn't relate to what they're talking about. It's an odd reference.
It is
'cause
odd.
He's talking about how, like, Picard, you're a great leader, but you've got this flaw where you can't just sit back and let something happen. You have to be super proactive all the time,
Right.
and that might be what's gonna fuck us. Then he calls it his Persian flaw, as if it's intentional.
Yeah.
Which
As
makes
if he
no
could
sense
be
at all.
perfect, but he just doesn't want to insult god.
Yeah.
So he occasionally fucks up and loses a few crew members. It's nonsense. It makes no sense. But then
I hate it.
we luckily get to see one of
Yankee traders.
it is Yankee
again.
traders all over again. That hated Yankee traders bullshit. Which, by the way, again, for anyone listening, if you look up Yankee traders, there's still nothing about them. Like, there was nothing about them back then. They're even harder to find anything about them now. The whole internet barely knows anything about Yankee traders. Anyway, there's an alert on the bridge. Something's happening. It's one of your favorite things, Ben. Giant thing in space.
Thing in space.
And I quite like giant thing in space. When
It's like a whirlpool or something, right?
I reckon that's exactly what this is. Because a lot of these effects would have been done practically, and then it's like a series of like...
They've got like a smoke machine, and they're like sucking the smoke down a vortex.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite practical effects from this sort of era was the opening credits for The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, where the words "The Thing" sort of burn out of nothingness into the screen, and it looks like this. It's a really, really nice effect, and all it was the special effects guy had cut The Thing into a piece of metal or card or whatever, and then put a bin bag over it, and then shot it, and with lights behind and smoke and stuff, and then shot fire at the bin bag, so it burned away and revealed the word "The Thing" behind it. And it's a legendary opening. Like, it looks so cool. So these kind of guys would do things like, oh, well, what I had was some water, and I just drained it in a whirlpool. It was a big tank of water. Then I just filmed it from above, and I had loads of food dye and smoke and stuff. And then this in the water, and it shows up. And if you light it at this angle, you get this great shot. Like, that's how they do it. Nowadays, they just push a button, Ben, and some computer.
Well, I love how creative it is, right? When you find out how they did it, and it's just like a guy in his workshop fucking around with really basic materials.
Yeah, it's got character.
It's awesome.
It's got character, and it's got individuality that the computer just gives you default whirlpool. Some dude in his shed is going to be way more interesting in effect, I think.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Practical thing in space. Looks great.
Yeah.
So it starts like pulling them in, and they try to second guess themselves, and they're like, well, normally we would explore this, but that might be what fucks us. So actually, let's run away. We would never normally run away. That's the safe bet. And they can't. They're trapped. The harder they pull, the harder it pulls them back, and they're getting yanked in. The engines, can I take it, Captain? And then Picard gets zapped by a special effect.
Yeah.
And so does the one in sickbay.
Yeah. And then there's another zapping, and he's getting chucked about a bit. And Riker says, like a rag in a dog's mouth, is what he describes it as, which is odd.
Riker's metaphors are always so fucking
They're always
weird.
Like a Persian floor. Like, what is you? Rag in a dog's mouth. What? Yeah. But Riker is definitely a dog guy, so obviously he's just thinking about his dog, I guess.
Is he just trying to like coin a new phrase? Is that what it is? He doesn't want to use cliches. He just wants to be the guy who says the cool thing that everyone starts saying.
Like a rag in a dog's mouth. Hey guys, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
my dog didn't have a rag. I gave it a proper toy. What are you, stingy? Stingy with your dog toys?
Yeah, because normally it's a rag doll, right? That's what people say.
Like a rag doll, but no, this is like a rag.
Does he just not remember the saying and says it wrong? He's like, something about rags and dogs, I think, but he says it so confidently.
That's like Trailer Park Boys. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Ricky, one of the characters in that, he's always saying sentences wrong. Like you know, worst case scenario. That saying.
Yeah.
He says worst case Ontario is what he says. Like, he's always got little sayings like that he gets the wrong way around.
I love it. I know someone
like
that actually who is just constantly saying like a similar yet different word,
right?
Like but without realizing that he's said it wrong. And I never have the heart to correct him.
Oh no, it's just too funny.
I'd be doing it constantly, and who cares? I know what he means.
Yeah, you know what he means.
Right. So yeah, and at this point, the new Picard wakes up because they've determined that the closer they get to his time, the more lucid and aware he's going to become. Because of this, up until now, he's just been kind of delirious and unconscious. And now he wakes up and he's like, I've got to go save the Enterprise. The thing, it wants me. I'm going to get out on the shuttle. It can have me, and then the ship can escape. And that's when we realize, well, that's why Picard left the ship. He thought he was saving.
Yeah, but I don't know why. It's because he got zapped, right? That's it.
Yeah. So they've worked out that like whatever it is that's sucking them in seems to want him more because it's like identified. It's some kind of space entity, and it thinks the Enterprise is another entity. And it's
right.
Like Picard is the brain. He's the bit I need to talk to.
That is fair.
And so Picard's hoping that if he detaches himself from the Enterprise, it will pull him in and the ship can go.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
it's a gamble. It's a guess, but they don't have much time. The ship's like engines are overloading, and as soon as they like stop trying to run away, they're going to get sucked in.
So Picard says, if I were to leave the Enterprise, but not 1 minute ago on screen, he said, all right, I just won't leave the Enterprise. And now he's been convinced, actually, I do need to leave the Enterprise. But we already know that this doesn't work.
No, it doesn't, because they've seen from the logs the shuttle gets away, but the ship explodes.
So don't do it.
So don't do it. But the new Picard, the duplicate Picard, I guess we call him Picard 2, he's not 100% like conscious. Do you know what I mean? He's just kind of going about his business as a bit of like an automaton. And when Picard Prime tries to like talk to him, he's kind of almost not even totally hearing him, and he's just kind of like
he doesn't really know who he's talking to, because Picard's like, do you know who you're talking to? He just looks at him like, the fuck. So I assume that it would be nice if we saw a shot of what Picard 2 can actually see. Where it's all kind of wibbly wobbly, but or something.
Well, I guess he's kind of out of phase, right? Because he's not quite at his own time yet, so he's not 100% aware of what's happening around him.
I guess
because he's up and walking, but he's not still like locked in. He's just kind of like following through his like pattern.
Sure. But then Picard just shoots him.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this loop. We're not doing this again.
Bang! And just shoots him dead.
Yeah, which I don't know. I kind of enjoy.
It's quite a
gamble.
gamble.
It's a wild move. It's a hell of a gamble. But yeah, break the loop, because obviously this loop is just going to lead to the same place again.
But that phaser, he didn't have to set it to kill. Those things are set to kill by default. He just goes, just shoots him
He doesn't
dead.
press a button, does he?
No. He just shot him.
And it turns out there's just a cupboard in the cargo bay of 4 phasers set to kill lined up that you can just grab at any time.
Just in case, Ben. That's the main way into the ship. That's like the front door. So you better have phasers there.
I keep a rack of loaded guns in my porch.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you.
Who is it? And then if they don't say, I just shoot through the door. So now...
Normally you got to go to like an arms locker for that.
Of course.
Not in the cargo bay.
No. Don't just let the kids run around in the cargo bay. Just don't touch the kill.
It's not even locked or has like a pin on it or anything. It's just a hatch you can flip open.
That also, we definitely had guests arrive, or like possibly hostiles arrive in the cargo bay. They could just grab a box of phasers. Box that says phasers on it. They just open that. They're like, these are just unlocked. Well,
we know the kids have access to the cargo bay because one of them steals a shuttle.
Yeah, exactly. So these guns, I mean, there's no room. Do you remember the weapons room from like the Binars episode? They had a special room with a sign, and presumably it's hard to get in.
Yeah, you'd think that would need like priority access or something.
But there's just a box of guns right there.
Just a box of guns.
Just where you need it. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I would have liked it if he had a security guard that was there, and he just grabbed it off the security guard's hip and shot the guy. Like, that would make
way more sense.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
So now special guest Cole Meany gets his big moment, Ben.
He does. He walks in and he's just like,
goes,
damn.
Fucking hell. It's fucking bizarre, isn't it? And then just leaves. Like, that's his whole special guest moment. So weird.
I'm guessing he was contracted to do X episodes of this season.
Right.
And then they realised, oh shit, we're one short. Okay, just get a reaction shot from him. That'll count towards one of his contracted episodes.
Oh, it does feel like it. It's just so funny.
Yeah. Oh, he's still got his pips, though. He hasn't been demoted yet.
No, that's true. That's true.
He hasn't committed his atrocity or whatever it is he does to lose his pips. And then that's it. Picard just gets back onto the bridge and is like, I've solved it. Cut the engines. It's like a Chinese finger trap puzzle.
Yes.
Just the harder you pull, the harder it pulls back. So we're gonna drive into it.
That does come up. The Chinese finger trap. I can't remember if we've already had this one or not. Where
It feels
Data's
like something that
trapped.
happens a lot.
I think it's later. Data gets stuck with one, and he's got like a box of them. I think we were talking about that.
Oh no, yeah, it's the Ferengi, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And he's sort of pulling at this thing, and then they have
we've had that.
to fix it. Yeah, and we were like, do they just? He just has a box of Chinese finger traps. So weird. Also, when I say Chinese finger trap, I might have said this last time. It feels like a deprecated term that you wouldn't use anymore.
That's true. Part of my mind was like, is it okay to say that?
It's like when people say it's like Chinese whispers, and you think you can't.
Apparently, that's
say
not okay.
No, because it's implying that Chinese people, first of all, whisper incoherently. And second of all,
also are sneaky and duplicitous.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so now they just call it telephone. I think is what they call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm too old to change my ways.
There'll be Chinese
I
finger
can call it
traps to me.
telephone.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't need to call it that. Like, we used to play Chinese football was what we played at school. That was when
what
our
was that?
games
I'd never
teacher
heard of that.
just threw an extra ball on the pitch.
Why
Or
did you
Chinese
call it Chinese football?
Because they're kind of weird, aren't they, Ben? And wacky. Like, that's literally
okay.
what it is. It's like in America they would have called it Mexican football. You know, it's just meant to be foreign and weird. So you just that was what our games teacher called it. Of course, being 1980s, none of us batted an eyelid. We were like, yeah, fair enough. That's what Chinese football.
We were all hearing far worse things than that and nodding along with them.
Exactly right.
That's for sure at the time.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So we're nearing the denouement. We're nearing the denouement, Ben. What happens?
Well, that's it. They drive into it, and then it works, and they escape. The shuttle and the Picard disappear because they've changed history, and that timeline doesn't happen anymore.
That's it.
And that's it.
Fucking sucked. That ending sucked.
They have a little debrief at the end.
Yeah, but their debrief is the usual. Cool, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
well, that was weird. Oh well. Anyway, they're set course to fucking Starbase 378, whatever.
I was fully expecting a discussion about the nature of determinism or something like that. You know, like, could that would have kept happening if we hadn't had the Picard from the future to make us realize it was a mistake. It would have been an infinite loop had we not had something to change our minds. And in that case, do we have free will, or are we only a product of our environment and our responses to stimuli? That would have been interesting. A little philosophical debate to end the episode of just like how much free will do we have? I don't know.
Let's just say that was weird and just push the button and leave. I just found it very unsatisfying as an ending. I thought it was an interesting setup. I liked some moments of it. I liked giant thing in space sucking the ship in. That's always cool. But then they're just like, Picard just decides to shoot himself, and he's like, well, that solved it. It's like, so the solution was to kill future or past Picard, depending on how you look at it. And that just did it. And the thing just lets them go.
Cycle.
But why did that let them go? It doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation.
It wasn't that they killed him that let it go. It's the fact that they did the other thing. They turned around.
They
didn't try to escape. Like, that was basically like, don't try to get away, drive into it, and then you'll escape. Right, I guess he didn't have to kill Picard to do that. He could have just turned around, and then Picard would have not existed.
He could have just stunned him and just done it. Like, it's just, I just found it odd. Yeah. I just found it unsatisfying. And also, it's like, wait, let's not go away from it. Let's go into it. It's like, wow, what a fucking leap.
Bit overplayed. Like, that's happened a lot in Star Trek. I guess this episode really suffers from the fact that we have seen a much better version of the same concept.
Much better.
Like three or 4 seasons' time, whenever it happens.
And
season 5
especially because that's a, like, Data solving it. It's a genuine puzzle. The denouement for that, the payoff for that is excellent. Like, I really liked it. And at the end, the way they tie it up and the way they explain it, and the sort of, there's an extra bit that they tickle on the end of the story of how long Kelsey Grammer's been out there and stuff. It's like, wow, this is genuinely really, really cool. And leaves you wanting more rather than just going, well, there you go, they went in instead of back. And that's the end. It's like, all right, whatever.
True. It was a little anticlimactic, but I enjoyed the journey. I felt like I was actually genuinely interested in the mystery, and I wanted to see how it all played out. And it didn't play out great in the end, but it didn't stop me enjoying it. I was paying more attention to this than previous episodes. I felt like this was like a pretty, in terms of like Star Trek, we're finally getting into like what I would call a standard level of Star Trek.
Like this is a fillery episode, I think. This is not a standout episode. But if this is the baseline for, these are the ones that are just kind of, you're not going to be like, oh, that's such a great episode. But it's fine. It's still Star Trek.
Yeah. I wasn't bored or annoyed.
No.
Like I have been with a lot of these previous episodes.
Yeah.
There was one thing that did annoy me when they're having a discussion about like second guessing themselves and going like, well, if this is going to happen, how can we avoid it? And they all throw out ideas about like, well, let's do something completely wacky. Let's just warp off in a different direction, or let's stay here, and then like Riker just shuts it all down with no, it's already happened. We've set a chain of events that we cannot avoid. So let's not bother. And I was like, that's a shitty explanation.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can suspend my disbelief and just let this play out. But if I think about that for too long, I'll be angry, because that's crazy talk.
Yeah. No, fair.
And they all just nod along and agree with it. Like, because otherwise, I guess, where do you stop second guessing?
Well, you want to argue with Riker as well? Come on. It's like arguing.
It'll make you eat more eggs.
But yeah, if you stand out too much, you get invited to dinner at Riker's. I'm cooking. It's my specialty. You're like, oh, fuck. I think I've got a stomach bug, actually. I'm going to have to skip tonight. So.
Yeah, I can't tell my boss his eggs are shit. He's so proud of them.
Oh, dear. We've got some trivia or anything like that?
I don't have any interesting trivia apart from the Persian floor thing.
Yeah, there was
I couldn't
nothing.
find out anything about this one.
I just think it was a pretty straightforward episode in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
like
I'm going to give it a C.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
I could see that. It's baseline. It's baseline, I think.
Yeah, it's baseline. And honestly, if this is the worst we're going to get from now on, I'll be very happy.
God, yeah. Sadly, that's not the case, Ben. But yes, that would be nice. Let's talk about what next week is, and then we'll do some emails. How does that sound?
That would be great.
So this was time squared. Next week is the Icarus Factor. Riker's estranged father, Kyle, visits to brief him on a starship command he's been offered, and Worf's friends discover he's about to miss an important Klingon rite of passage.
Oh, well, that sounds great. A Worf episode and like another starship. I'm interested. Also, we just found out about Riker's dad. Because in this episode, he was talking about how like his mum died when he was young, and his dad raised him, but his dad hated cooking, and maybe wasn't all that great a dad. So yeah, dig into that a bit more. Bit of background, bit of character. Why not?
Yeah, and Worf is the 10th anniversary of his Age of Ascension, and he's meant to do a special ritual.
Okay. I enjoy Klingons.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
There's I say he gets the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of holodeck Klingons. That's what I'm looking forward to that. Oh, good. I love a bit of Worf. Rah! When he grits his teeth.
Yeah.
That's always good. All right, incoming transmission, Captain.
Excellent. On screen.
This is from Ensign Theo. You were questioning why anyone would ever work in a customer service job like being a waiter in the Federation when you don't have to work. Here's my theory. A lot of people actually really enjoy working in bars and restaurants and so on. The only problems are low pay, unpredictable hours, and terrible customers. In the Federation, none of this would be an issue. You don't need money, neither does the establishment, so they can just open whenever people want to work. And you can tell any bad customers to just fuck off, because you don't even need their business. So I think in the Federation, I would prefer to work in a cafe, which is a very social, rather than do the dull jobs an ensign has to do in Starfleet. I mean, I would love to run a restaurant in Federation land where it's just people just come and eat for fun. If they, you could just serve what you like. There's no rates to pay. There's no tax.
I think it comes down to the hours, because I've done a lot of service jobs.
Same.
When I was at college and uni, those were all the only jobs I could get, and I worked in bars and restaurants and like stacking shelves in shops, all those kind of
right
standard customer service jobs. And God, I think the hardest thing was just the long hours and the shifts and being on your feet all day.
Yeah.
And so if we were only working, I don't know, 20 hours a week or 15 hours a week or something like that, it was like a hobby rather than
I mean, you could just open on a Friday. You'd be like, hey, let's open the cafe on Friday and Saturday.
It'd be like a fun novelty of just like it's like throwing a big party essentially.
Yeah.
You could even just invite whoever you wanted.
Of course.
You don't, like you say, you don't need a certain amount of business to stay in business, so you can make it like exclusive or limited as much as you like.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe it'd actually become quite hard to get a booking. Maybe it becomes a bit of a prestige thing. Like, oh, I've got a table at this place that only opens once a month, but it's like everyone's talking about how cool and interesting it is.
Yeah, apparently this guy's cooking his special eggs this week. I've got to be there for that. Yeah, something like that. All right. Anyway.
Oh man, I actually watched something. Watched a movie. I don't know if you've seen it, called The Menu. Watched it last week.
I've heard of it.
And it's about this very like pretentious exclusive dining experience.
Oh, on an island. Yeah. Ray Fiennes is in it. Yeah, it's a really, really stupid movie, but I did quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun. And it just reminds me of that now. Suddenly, it's just like this really like pretentious billionaires only invited, like pretentious thing for people who are too over the top obsessed with food or prestige.
That's true. I'm watching Widow's Bay at the moment, which is a really good show.
Yeah, I just finished that.
So good. It really reminds me of like a Cthulhu adventure that's like the sort of ones that Tom would run. On Mystery Quest. So yeah, it's a good show.
How far in are you?
Like episode 6. I just had, I think episode 5 or 6. Just had the one where we go back in time.
Oh, and get the history of the founder.
And we get the founder and all that. Really, really good. But now
it's really cool. It's like it's kind of like a Stephen King Cthulhu sort of New England.
Yeah, very much so.
Island, and with
but also
sort of trope every week.
Really funny. Like, it is genuinely really funny.
Funny.
So yeah, I recommend that. Anyway, we got another one. This is Kapla, Admiral Ben and First Officer Flax. I was listening to your most recent pod on unnatural selection, and you went into the economic system of the Federation and made me think about gold-pressed latinum. I put to one side the value of a thing because it's widely traded outside the Federation and apparently difficult to synthesize. However, in Trek, it's always depicted as thin, stamped strips of gold metal. In Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 9, Who Mourns for Morn, we learn more of the properties of latinum, specifically that it's a liquid at body temperature pressed into the relatively valueless metal gold. In the episode, Morn has swallowed the latinum into his second stomach and regurgitates a small quantity into a glass, 100 bricks worth by Quark's estimate. I've never understood why latinum would be pressed into narrow strip bars. This is actually the worst shape of container for a liquid. In my opinion, a sphere would be the most efficient and least likely to bend and split.
Well, a sphere is very hard to like stack.
Very
in a
hard to
briefcase
stack,
to
yes.
bribe someone, right? You want the rack, but you want more volume inside than a strip. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You want like cubes maybe, or you definitely got to have them tessellate. I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a lot of videos about why, like Coca-Cola cans or whatever, those kind of soft drink cans are the shape they are, and why you don't use like a cube, and they stack very well, and they're actually the most optimal shape. So I assume they figured out that with gold pressed latinum, this is enough. And also, I also think, although you might think you might want to store more, that's like saying that the notes that we have for money, if you imagine that they actually had inherent value, you wouldn't want them stacked up too thick, because A, that's hard to carry around in transport, and B, that might be too much value to be of utility as a note. It would be like having a £1,000 note. Why? Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
So I think it might
that's
as
true.
well
You want
be
them in small enough denominations
that you can, that they're actually useful. I think is a important thing.
So how do you check? Because it'd be very easy to get a little slab of gold and put a liquid in it, and then are you constantly like scanning everyone's chits to make sure they aren't counterfeit?
I don't know.
Because I imagine, okay, the latinum is hard to fake, great, but I've never seen anyone like whip out a tricorder and go, these are fake chits. They haven't got real latinum in them. Feels like you could get away with it very easily.
Yeah,
no one's checking.
Could be. Anyway, incoming transmission, Captain.
Excellent, on screen.
Commander Ben and Chief Flax, I'm an engineer now apparently. In the symbiosis episode, you mentioned that the name doesn't fit. This is a common misconception. A symbiotic relationship refers to any long-term relationship between two species. The main four subtypes of symbiotic relationship are parasitism, which is, I think, the one that we always assume, where one organism benefits at the expense of another, e.g. head lice on human beings. Mutualism, which is the one that I think most people think about, like bees pollinating flowers in exchange for nectar, or those little pilot fish that follow whales and stuff around, and sort of, clean them up. Commensalism, which is where one species benefits, but the other is largely unaffected. So that is like remora hitching onto larger fish. So that's like pilot fish, where they just hold on, and any, or sharks or whatever, and any bits of food that you don't get, I get. You see that as well with birds hanging out on like cows and rhinoceroses, because they can get easy access to bugs.
Sometimes they pick off the lice, which I guess is beneficial.
Yeah, you're right. I think the remora is a better example. And competition, where both species are hindered. So that's just about every other kind. So both species are hindered. I mean, I suppose parasitism would be like those vines that I've got crawling up all the plants in my garden. They grow over from next door's fence. They are very cannily wind them way around. You clean them away, come back a couple of weeks later, they're all back. So yeah, that's the sort of
that is interesting. I didn't know that was the definition of. I thought symbiosis was like the more beneficial relationship.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't realize it was like the heading of all of the different kinds of relationships. It's you learn something new every day.
And this lad's from Australia, so he knows a bit about weird species and parasitism, I'm sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, finally,
thank you.
If you two were ever melded in a transporter accident, I think the resulting creature would be named Tedgar and would possess an affection for XCOM bordering on fetishistic. It'd definitely be directed by Cliff Bowl. 100% that's a Cliff Bowl episode. 100%.
Which one's Cliff Bowl? I forgot.
He's the terrible director. Cliff Bowl directs. Let me find Cliff Bowl. So he did a load of TNG episodes. He's obviously a mate of he did 25 episodes. So he did Conspiracy, for example.
Oh, okay.
Hide and Q, Lonely Among Us, and in season 2 he did The Royale. Like that's the kind of shit that he does.
All right.
The Emissary. He directed up till season 7. He was directing episodes. I don't think any of them.
Good ones?
I'm just looking now. No, I don't think he's done a single.
None you recognise.
He did Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2. So actually, that's
okay.
it. That's
Legit.
That's his highlight. But yeah, a lot of his episodes are a bit mad, I would say. Shall we do one more email, Captain?
Yes. Excellent.
Okay.
On screen.
Okay. I didn't see incoming transmission, so this is from Captain Gabriel of Nottingham. This is Captain Gabriel of the USS Nottingham.
I know him. He used to watch the Tom and Ben streams.
Oh, okay, there you go. He's talking now to the Captain and XO of the USS podcast. That's us. Just finished listening to your episode on unnatural selection with Pulaski, and I had some thoughts I wanted to share. Live shows. I've been glad to hear Ben have some positive things to say about TOS recently, as it's almost tied with TNG for me as my favourite Trek. I had the thought, rather than doing the TNG for your live shows, all of which are set years after TNG, how about trying out some episodes of the original series? So rather than do the TNG films, we just do the TOS. We did actually speak about this as a thing that we might do.
Yeah, we were thinking about saving TOS for
Patreon.
like a second Patreon podcast or something like that. Yeah.
Where, so, because I'd love to do, I have not watched those in years and years and years.
And I'd say I've probably only seen maybe like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Like just that happened to randomly on TV when I was a kid.
So we will be going in with very fresh eyes. But yeah, I think if it's okay, we'd like to do that as a Patreon because we need money and we like money. We need money.
Well, this is our job, right? And like that's the only way to make podcasts make money.
Yeah, essentially.
But we could put it on like a rolling thing where eventually it go public.
Yeah,
then,
no, absolutely.
When we move on and do a different thing, that can become the Patreon, and then the TOS can go public.
I like
it can
that.
Just be on a rolling release.
Yeah,
I quite like that idea.
I
if people
like
can't
that.
afford it, they can get it eventually.
Absolutely. We don't want to gatekeep our genius from the people. Of course.
Yeah, we want to share our gift with the world.
But first, we need money.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. Also, a comment on the sick bay. You talked about the Enterprise D having a tiny sick bay, which we do point out quite often. There's thousands and thousands of people on this ship, and the sick bay is like a cupboard. In official plans for the ship, here we go. There are many sick bays with their own staff, with Crusher and Pulaski's being the main sick bay, and them being the supervisor of a large department spread over the ship. I do like the idea that you don't just have one sick bay. You have, it's like you have it where you need it. So you have one on that floor, or it's easy to get to a sick bay. That does make sense. But quite often, I imagine
they have redundant like emergency facilities. So like they have the main one where it's just like, oh yeah, you got bumps and scrapes and colds, come into regular sick bay. But then we've got like, the triage center that's like a warehouse with a million bio. In case
like the Nightingale centers that they built for COVID, where they were like, if we need tens of thousands of beds, we've
got this area that we can just be like, okay, we can literally have thousands of people being treated at once if needed, but that's not open day to day. That's for emergencies. Because the Enterprise D is absolutely enormous. It has so much redundant space.
Yeah, that's true. It is huge. 2 more points that I'm going to read out. Automation. One of the few good points about modern Trek, aside from better LGBTQ representation, is that they take an effort to show how much automation is involved in this Trek future, both in Starfleet and civilian life. We've spoken about this before, about how there would surely be robots everywhere. So Picard's vineyard, for example, I guess this is in the Picard TV show, is almost entirely run by basic robots, not much more sophisticated than what we have today, with a handful of people as supervisors, which is what I would think any kind of farming would just be that. So that does make sense.
Makes sense.
But they don't really cover it in classic Trek. I
guess they didn't have the special effects to like show all the robots would be quite a lot of
it's
work,
the 80s. It would look like arse. Like think about C-3PO and R2-D2. That was like peak robot, and it looks pretty.
Those were like, and that was real expensive. That they couldn't have made them look as good as those guys.
No.
On TV.
And the final one about Pulaski, I think we might have thought this as well, is that if you think about it, I think we even said that they're trying to recreate the McCoy Spock thing, but as Gabriel of Nottingham says, Spock gave as good as he got in this sort of deadpan Vulcan style, whereas Pulaski is just bullying an autistic man, is what essentially why it doesn't work.
Yes, absolutely. And it honestly, like when it was Bones and Spock, it felt like I don't know if it was punching up or if it was at least even.
Yeah.
Whereas, Pulaski feels like very much punching down
and bullying, very, very
bullying.
unpleasant bullying. Yeah.
He just clearly doesn't understand what the
he's
problem
like, why are
is.
you being so mean to me? I don't understand. Yeah. We do have another email, but it's extremely long, but it is really interesting. So I'm going to save it for next week. We'll save that. It's just a bit long, but yeah, I've got to go to the shop, unfortunately. Ben,
Fair enough.
That was it. That was the episode. Next week we get to see a Klingon rite of passage.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, don't be.
Could be good.
It's just a decent episode. It's not a great one.
Do you remember it?
A little bit. I remember that scene for sure.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I don't remember the stuff with Riker and his dad, because it's generally. I feel like a lot of the shows when it's a character has met their parent or whatever, or someone senior, they always turn into like little babies and kind of sulky kids. It's like, Riker, you're second in command of the flagship of the Federation. Don't be such a little bitch. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that.
It kind of happens though. Like, like people often revert back a bit. Like when I don't know, like my wife when she like hangs out with her friends from school, like her accent comes out more.
Right? Yeah.
Like you just regress a little bit back to old habits. Like kind of how you were last time you used to hang out with them.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if that's got like a name psychologically. But revertigo. Let's call it
Revertigo. I love that, Ben. Yes. Revertigo. Good God. All right, well, that's our podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. Thank you for your emails. Keep them coming in. And as ever, I will say, keep your phasers set to kill.
By default.
By default. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.